I want to place design on a big canvas, bigger than it usually gets. The title signals the tension that I will address at the end. But before I get there, I need to make a few general arguments. Some of them may strike you as provocative. And another point, by the way, I will use the word design first and then transition to the phrase design thinking. Let me start with a simplification. I think we all know the left brain, right brain metaphor, rational, analytical, convergent on one side, creative, metaphoric, divergent on the other. I have advocated not choosing between the two modes, but learning how to move fluidly between them. Design lives precisely in that moment, in that intersection. The real question is, does design connect? What does design connect to and how? Because I have it there connecting several things. Think of design as a bridge. It sits between the analytical and the intuitive, between the rational and the creative. But a bridge connects two specific things. On one side, art, on the other one, science. But not all art and not all science. To connect design with art, I need to make a distinction that is easy to overlook. When we explain art, we typically connect it with the word creation, the work, the painting, the building, the object. But creation means the residue, not the motive. And the moment, the motive is the essential component. The moment you see art as creation, you are looking at the wrong thing. Look at this list. These are verbs that actually drive art. Provoke, reveal, challenge, unsettle, seduce, destabilize. Notice what is absent. Creation or create, the verb, is not in the list. Creation happens, of course, but it's not the point. The point is the verb, the animating impulse behind the work. This is what art and design share, and also where they diverge. The distinction should be clear. Art is driven by verbs like provoke, reveal, challenge. Creation is a residue. Design, by contrast, is driven by purpose. And creation is its instrument. Design has intentionally built that from the start. That gives design a different span than art. And in some ways, it's a wider one. It also gives design a natural kinship with science. But we need to ask, which science? The distinction should be clear. Art is driven by verbs like provoke and so on and so forth. Design has intentionally built art. But design is driven by purpose and creation is the instrument. Not all science operates in the same way, and not all scientific models are equally relevant to design. And this is where I think design has been chasing the wrong target, and where a reframe opens up the possibility of something really new. There is a long tradition of design science. The implicit logic is that design gains legitimacy by conforming to traditional, quantitative, scientific models. Those models are built on predictive power that is stated as a law. You run experiments, you verify the prediction, but I want to challenge that assumption. Consider evolution. It operates through selection, mutation, recombination, and fitness evaluation. It has no laws in the Newtonian sense and predicts no specific outcomes. What evolution tells us is something different and more powerful, that complex solutions emerge from simple rules. Iterative improvement is extraordinarily powerful. Solutions arise from exploring many possibilities in parallel. And failure, the most important thing, is not an obstacle. It's essential information. Evolution is explanatory rather than predictive. That distinction is the key to everything that follows. So I have commented on this before, but it's instructive to repeat it here. Look at this panel. Design thinking maps almost perfectly onto evolutionary logic. Ideation and prototyping are variation. Testing and feedback are selection. Refinement cycles are iteration. And unexpected solutions arising from the process itself, which is emergence. The isomorphism is not superficial. It points to something deep about why design thinking works and why it works. There you have the list. And let me go through another listing here of the same thing. There's no predetermined input, okay? All of these things are the parallels with evolution. So evolution, and this is a big claim, evolution is a universal algorithm for emergence, not just in biology, but in markets, technology, ideas, cultures. All of these evolve through the same principles. Now notice the structure of that algorithm. Deterministic rules, emergent outcomes. But what comes out is novel, sometimes unpredictable. This, by the way, must be the designer's proper stance. Tight control of the method, radical openness to outcome. So here is the strategic refrain. What if the science envy in design has been aiming at the wrong target, at yesterday's model of science? Physics was the gold standard for the 20th century, but contemporary science has moved on. Design belongs, in my view, along evolution, anthropology, and sociology, what we will call narrative sciences. These are the sciences that explain rather than predict. Chasing physics was the wrong aspiration. The right model was available, it was there. We just had to look in a different direction. This raises a practical question. How do you work with emergence rather than against it? The answer is not trying to eliminate it. That's a losing battle. The answer is to create conditions for beneficial emergence while dampening destructive patterns. This is what life itself does at every scale, from cells to ecosystems. It is also what design does. So let me close with the argument in its simplest form. Design's strength lies precisely in not trying to be predictive. The power comes from embracing emergence and adaptation, from trading the illusion of control for the reality of evolution. This is the big canvas I wanted to place design on. Tight control of method, radical openness to outcome.